The city of Rome has been around since ancient times, and there are plenty of interesting facts about its history that you might not know if you didn't do any research on the subject. Here are some of the most interesting facts about ancient Rome that you probably didn't know, or maybe you did. You never know until you look into it. People would socialize at communal toilets. The Senate House, or Curua Hostilla, was a building in ancient Rome where Senate meetings were held from 494 BC until it was damaged by fire in 83 BC. The Curura Hostilla was the most famous for being an early example of an architectural space designed to harness human waste for use as fertilizer. In order to keep senators' feet dry while they dined, their shoes would be removed and stored on shelves above the seats. Below the shelves were holes through which senators could relieve themselves without standing up. They would then place their shoes back on before leaving. Although historians aren't sure if these latrines were used continuously throughout Roman history, there are numerous examples of similar structures that show how people thought about using human waste for agricultural purposes. For instance, some buildings at Pompeii had large stone troughs with openings that would have allowed residents to defecate directly into them. Romans did not use soap. Rich people in ancient Rome had no use for soap. Instead, they would let slaves scrape their bodies with a metal tool called a strigil after getting out of the bath. The poor people used soap made from animal fat and plant ashes. Romans did not use soap at all. Soap was invented by a French chemist named Nicolas Leblanc around 1791 AD. It wasn't until centuries later that soaps became widely available to people who could afford them. Urine was used to clean clothes. The wealthiest Romans bathed more than once a month. Slaves did most of their dirty work, and when they were done, they were sold to launderers. Wealthy Romans used urine from public toilets to clean their clothes. Then people would throw away their clothes and buy new ones. It was so common that there was even a Latin word for it: detestorium, or abhorrence. How do you think today's society would react if we learned that our leaders had been cleaning their clothing with pee? Not very well. We'd probably revolt. We'd also be in pretty bad shape because without clean clothes, how could we get jobs? That's why Roman citizens, the rich ones, didn't want anyone else to know about it. They feared that if everyone knew about using pee to wash their clothes, then no one would want to buy them anymore and poor people wouldn't have jobs. Romans hold first recorded mooning. One of history's most memorable moonings occurred in 44 BC, when politician Gaius Scribonius Curio threw his toga over his head and into the faces of two of Julius Caesar's political rivals. It was a scandalous act, not just because it happened in public, though that was bad enough, but also because it happened on stage during a performance at Caesar's personal theater. The men who were mooned were so furious they nearly killed Curio, though he managed to escape by dressing as a slave and fleeing from Rome. The incident is said to have started a trend in which Roman politicians bared their buttocks as an insult, and it may have inspired Shakespeare's famous line, "Et tu, Brute," from Julius Caesar. People shared sponges after pooping. In ancient Rome, people often used communal sponges for cleaning after going to the bathroom, which led to widespread diseases like cholera. The fact that these sponges were used by a number of people made hygiene an even bigger concern in places like brothels and prisons. In fact, these two were so nasty that they are directly linked to 4 major historical pandemics. Thankfully today we have rubber gloves and antibacterial soap. Wealthy Romans would spend hours overeating and vomiting. It's true. Wealthy Romans would often gorge themselves on food and then purge it all back up again. This form of gluttony was believed to keep people young and beautiful. While we can only speculate about what drove these ancient people to do such a thing, some experts have suggested that they were attempting to absorb more nutrients from their food by eating large quantities at once. Others believe that vomiting had a psychological purpose for them, to relieve stress or anxiety in much the same way that many modern-day individuals self-soothe with drugs or alcohol. In any case, there's no doubt that Roman gourmands took indulgence to an extreme. Emperor Claudius's third wife Valera Messalina, was a nymphomaniac. Wife of Roman Emperor Claudius, Messalina was a nymphomaniac and was accused of turning her husband into one as well. She is said to have once tried to seduce her stepson and other members of her husband's court. However, many historians considered these rumors as gossip that were spread about because Messalina had committed many real crimes, including killing off all of Claudius's heirs so she could become empress. Her infamy has led to some speculation over whether or not she may have been suffering from bipolar disorder. Roman doctors recommended gladiators' blood for various medical reasons. Exercising in hot, humid weather can cause excessive sweating. Gladiators would often drink each other's blood because it was believed to be rehydrating. Roman physicians wrote about using a gladiator's blood for anemia patients, as well as for pregnant women who were having trouble carrying their child to term. Drinking a glass of gladiator's blood was supposed to give strength to anemic patients and correct iron deficiencies in expectant mothers. And if you think that's weird, blood was also used to treat epilepsy. It's said that epileptic patients would have seizures while drinking large amounts of gladiator blood. Doctors thought that by consuming so much blood at once, they could purge themselves of evil spirits causing their seizures. Don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe.